You ever watch someone get humiliated in front of 200 people and just know, deep in your bones, the story isn't over yet? That's how it started for Staff Sergeant Evelyn Mercer. She's standing in the middle of a crowded first-class cabin, every eye on her, getting escorted back to economy like she'd snuck in off the tarmac with a stolen ticket. Meanwhile, a couple Navy officers, all crisp uniforms and entitled grins, are cracking jokes just loud enough for everyone to catch the punchline. Support staff don't belong up front. You know the type. Yeah, that happened. But here's the kicker. An hour later, 30,000 feet over the Atlantic, when the engines started making sounds you really don't want to hear on a commercial flight, all those officers who thought rank came from shoulder boards suddenly got real quiet. And when the SEAL pilot cracked open the cockpit door, he wasn't looking for them. He was looking for her. But let me back up a sec. You gotta see how the dominoes lined up. That morning at Heathrow, the air was so thick with fog it felt like you could chew it. Evelyn's just another soldier, moving with that invisible efficiency they never put on recruitment posters. Olive drab duffel, hair pulled tight, jacket practical, not pretty. She expects nothing, just row 29A and 8 hours of recycled air. But fate, or maybe some overworked airline computer, kicks her up to first class. 3C. It even smells different up there, all leather and citrus and smugness. You know what happened next? The two officers spot her right away. They've got those regulation cuts grown out just enough, navy rings flashing when they swirl their bourbon. What's she doing up here? One mutters. Diversity hire. Probably an admin who got bumped up for ticking the right boxes. Evelyn just reads her book because she's heard it all before in motor pools and chow lines. Who belongs? Who doesn't? But it escalates. Officer number 1 leans over, makes a little scene for the attendant. You sure she's in the right seat? First class is for paying customers and real rank, right? The attendant, caught between protocol and privilege, apologizes and asks Evelyn to move back. She goes without a word, but there's a heaviness in her chest as she finds her original seat, and you can feel the mood in the cabin shift, the shame, the avoidance. Everyone saw, everyone heard, and nobody wants to meet her eye. Let me tell you, Evelyn's no stranger to carrying humiliation like extra gear. She's had years of proving herself in rooms built for someone else, learned how to take up less space, how to be invisible. She stares out the window as England falls away, and the plane settles into that weird hush of long-haul flights, where everyone pretends they're not all packed together and a little scared. But Evelyn doesn't sleep. Never did. Not in transports or barracks or anywhere an engine might cough out trouble. And sure enough, she picks up on things the rest of us would miss. A tang of burnt plastic under the coffee, a vibration in the left engine that's not quite right, the way the exhaust wavers when it shouldn't. She's tuned to machines like a musician to his instrument. Meanwhile, those Navy guys are still mouthing off up front, talking about paper soldiers and how the modern military is full of people who can't even field strip a rifle. The irony, right? Then things go sideways, quick. Turbulence, flickering lights, a whiff of smoke crawling out of the air vents. The kind of smoke that has a flavor, electrical, not fire, but close enough to tighten every muscle in your body. Passengers start to panic, flight attendants lose the script, and the officers who were kings of first class a minute ago are demanding answers like toddlers who lost their toys. And here's the twist, the part that would make you swear if you saw it in a movie. The cockpit door opens, and Captain Marcus Kane, who looks like he's wrestled storms and won, steps out. He scans the cabin, ignores the blustering officers. One even tries to shout him down, and locks eyes with Evelyn way back in 29A. He calls her by rank and name, loud enough for everyone to hear. The kind of moment where time goes syrupy and you realize, oh, so that's who really knows what they're doing. The captain doesn't even ask if she's willing. He tells her he needs her, right now, in the cockpit. Her body moves before her brain catches up. She stands, walks past the officers, faces red, eyes on the floor, and suddenly every passenger is watching the woman they just saw shamed, trying to process how she's the one getting summoned to save their lives. In the cockpit. Alarms are going off like a carnival gone wrong. Systems down, hydraulics bleeding out, autopilot dead, engine readings making no sense. Evelyn gets maybe 30 seconds to assess, then starts calling out corrections, throttle settings, manual overrides, real fixes born of grit and years crawling through the guts of aircraft under enemy fire. She patches one failure, then another, her voice steady while the plane bucks through a thunderstorm that turns the world outside to chaos. The Navy officers? They're nowhere. The captain shuts them down with a look that could freeze boiling water. Staff Sergeant Mercer has more hands-on turbine experience than my entire flight crew combined. If you want to help, sit down and shut up. And they do. Oh, they do. Evelyn calls the shots through every new emergency. False sensor readings, stuck valves, even a fuel flow imbalance the computers miss. She keeps the plane alive, minute by minute, as they limp toward an emergency landing at an Icelandic airbase, lightning streaking the sky like some Norse god's personal light show. The runway appears through the storm, and the landing is as rough as you'd expect. Metal screaming, brakes smoking, the kind of touchdown that shakes loose your soul. But they make it. 200 people alive, stunned, wrung out. And as the plane finally stops, rain pounding on the fuselage, the captain kills the engines and looks at Evelyn. That landing goes in your logbook, too. You know what I mean? Outside, in the cold, emergency crews swarm, lights flashing, and the passengers stumble down the stairs. Evelyn stands in the rain a moment, watching the battered plane, feeling the weight of what just happened settle into her bones. Captain Kane, right there on the runway, in front of everyone, renders her a salute that isn't about rank or regulation but pure respect. Those Navy officers, dripping and miserable, try to meet her eye. One gives a nod, maybe an apology, but it doesn't matter. Dignity's not something anyone hands you. It's what you claim by knowing your worth and doing your job when it matters most. Evelyn walks into the terminal lights, soaked to the skin, and all she's thinking about is the way the engine finally purred when she coaxed it back, the moment when metal and muscle agreed to live another day. The rest, who sat where, who whispered what, that's all static. And as she disappears into the warmth, the battered plane behind her waiting for tomorrow's inspection and endless paperwork, you gotta ask yourself, if you'd been there, would you have seen who really mattered? Would you have trusted the quiet expert over the loudest voice in the room? Let me know down in the comments, because sometimes the person they try to shove in the back turns out to be the only one who can bring everyone home. Share this story if you know what I'm talking about. If you've ever met a hidden hero who saved the day when nobody else was watching. Subscribe for more, because you never know when the next quiet miracle's about to happen.